Mike, what are you up to?
Just taking apart this engine.
This engine?
Yeah.
What's wrong with this thing?
Somebody blew the engine, so it's pretty nasty inside. When we take it apart, we'll show you how it looks inside the engine. It's gonna be pretty disgusted. So.
Alright, well, what we're doing here, guys, is we're taking apart a 2001 Dodge Dakota. And I'm pulling out the motor because it's got a rod knock and has some pretty severe shavings on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and take it apart and do a possible rebuild, or possibly just do a motor swap on it from another running truck. The problem is these trucks are getting kind of old and their motors are hard to find. And this is basically what they call a JTEC, JTEC system. This is the early model 4.7, and it's basically got a 16-tooth tone wheel on the bottom of the crank and the cam. So this is the older style. So what I'm doing here is, or what I've been having trouble with, is finding another suitable replacement that's low mileage, because if I get one that's got 150, 180,000 miles on it, who knows when that one's going to be ready to go. And they're not cheap either. They're, even with 150,000, they still want 1,600 bucks for them. So we're going to go ahead and do a teardown on it. And I know the rebuilds are actually kind of costly too. So you can go either way, and depending on what your budget is, and you can go from there. But what we're doing on this one here is going to make it real simple. Is we're taking out the radiator support, and it's basically this piece here, and it's bolts in from here, and there's two bolts right in the back here on both sides. And what that does is it makes this whole area here just wide open, so you can just come through and pull the motor straight forward. I'm thinking about pulling the motor with the trans and everything, complete assembly. Now, we took off the bumper, and the bumper has, when you open up the hood, you'll see these bolts here on this side and two bolts on this side. You pull those bolts off and you unplug if you have fog lights, you can unplug your fog lights, and the bumper will come right off and set it aside. And when we get the cherry picker in here, what we're going to do is we're going to take off the grill here, and the grill looks like it's just got some 8mm type bolts that go in, and they're just along these little metal support beams here. And we'll take that off, and that way we'll get a nice angle on our cherry picker, and we should have plenty of room to pull this motor. Again, we're doing a 2001 4.7, and if we have to, what we're going to do is find an engine for it. And like I said earlier, this is the 16-tooth style on the tone wheel. If we have to, like I said, we'll tear this down and swap tone rings, and maybe get a 05, 06 motor and run it. And that's a pretty big job, because both motors have to get torn down and basically swap out one crank position wheel for the other. If you're not familiar with the tone wheels on these, you can do a little research on it and see what year your truck is and what tone wheel you have. But anyways, I'll keep you posted on this and see how it goes. All right.